it has arrived at its destination, the desire to go forward never ceases and persists until death. It is the same for the Buddha jewel. When the great fire at the end of the Kalpa has burned and consumed the Trisahasra Mahasahasra Lokadhatu, the power of fire has not disappeared. It is the same for the fire of the Buddha's wisdom. When he has burned up all the passions and illumined all things, the zeal associated with this wisdom is not extinguished. Moreover, although the Buddha fulfills all the good dharmas and all the qualities, beings are inexhaustible in number, and this is why the desire which the Buddha has to save them all does not stop. Question. If the desire that the Buddha has to save all beings never ceases, why then does he enter into nirvana? Answer. There are two ways to save beings. Some obtain salvation when the Buddha is present, others obtain salvation after his nirvana. Thus it is said in the Phahua King. When the master physician had given the medicinal plants he had gathered to his sons, he left them. This is why the Buddha enters into nirvana. Moreover, there are beings with weak faculties and slight virtues who are incapable of realizing the grand undertaking of salvation and who can only plant the causes of merits. This is why the Buddha enters into nirvana without waiting for them to reach their salvation. Question. But even after the death nara of the Buddha, there are still people who become arhat. Why do you say that they can only plant the causes of merits? Answer. Although some become arhat, they are so rare that it is not worth mentioning. On the other hand, as soon as the Buddha preaches the Dharma, there are, in the 10 directions, innumerable and incalculable beings who obtain bodhi. After the death of the Buddha, it is the same. Similarly, in a great kingdom, there are indeed some punitive military expeditions, but these are so rare that we do not speak about them. This is why, although beings are inexhaustible in number, the Buddha enters into nirvana. Finally, it is said in the Moho Yenshi Olenyen King. In the Pratimandita universe, the Buddha has a lifespan of 700 incalculable periods during which he saves beings. This is why it is said that the Buddha has no loss of zeal. 8. The Buddha has no loss of exertion. He has no loss of exertion. See what H. S. Ben said about loss of zeal. Zeal is synonymous with exertion. Question. If that is so, the special attributes are no longer 18 in number but just 17. Furthermore, in the list of mental events, a distinction is made between zeal and exertion. Then why do you say that zeal is confused with exertion? Answer. Zeal is the action taken at the beginning, and, when zeal is developed, it has the name of exertion. This is what the Buddha said. All dharmas have zeal as their root. Zeal is like a thirsty man who wants to find something to drink. Exertion is like the means used to seek something to drink. Zeal is mind, desire to find. Exertion serves to realize the thing. Zeal comes from a mental action. Exertion comes from 3 actions: mental action, vocal action, and physical action. Zeal is internal. Exertion is external. These are the resemblances and the differences. Moreover, exertion is loved by the Buddhas. It is in this way that the Buddha Sakyamuni skipped over 9 kalpas and quickly attained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Psych Sajitra. Moreover, it is said that one day the Buddha said to Ananda, "Preach the Dharma to the bhiksus. My back hurts. I am going to rest for a while." Then the Bhagavath folded his upper garment in 4, spread it on the ground, and with his cloak as a pillow, lay down. Ananda preached the 7 factors of enlightenment. When he had come to the factor exertion, the Buddha arose with a start and said to Ananda, "Ananda, are you praising exertion?" Ananda answered, "I am praising it." And this happened 3 times. Then the Buddha said, "Good, good. Exertion well cultivated leads to the supreme perfect enlightenment, and all the more so to the other bodhis. This is why the Buddha has no loss of exertion, and, if he does not stop even when he is sick, what can be said about when he is not sick? Moreover, in order to save beings, the Buddha gives up the happiness of his very deep concentration and he saves beings by means of all kinds of bodies, by all kinds of voices, by all kinds of means. Sometimes he borrows dangerous paths. Sometimes he eats bad food. Sometimes he suffers cold and heat. Sometimes he encounters wicked objections, harmful words, and curses. He endures them patiently without disgust. Although he has mastery over all dharmas, the Buddha accomplishes these things without producing laziness. Conversion of Subhadra. Thus, after having saved beings, when the Buddha had lain down in the Sololan under 2 trees, the Brahmacharin Supita said to Ananda, "I have heard that this very night the Omniscient One will die. I would like to see the Buddha." Ananda stopped him, saying, "The Buddha has preached the Dharma far and wide to people and he is very sick." The Buddha overheard and said to Ananda, "Let Subhadra approach. He will be the last of my disciples." Subhadra was able to approach, questioned the Buddha on his doubts. The Buddha preached the Dharma to him as he wished and cut through his doubts. Subhadra obtained Bodhi. Before the Buddha entered into nirvana without residue, the Bhikkhu said to the Buddha, "Bhagavath, it is wonderful that, right at the end, you had compassion for this Brahmacharin heretic and you spoke with him." The Buddha said, "It is not just in the present lifetime that I have saved him as I was dying. In an earlier lifetime, when I had not yet obtained Bodhi, I saved him as I was dying. Jataka of the deer who sacrificed himself. Once, innumerable and incalculable periods ago, there was a great tree in the forest that sheltered many birds and animals. A forest fire broke out which blazed on 3 sides at once. Only one direction was saved, but it was blocked off by a river. All the animals crowded in there miserably without finding a way to save their lives by flight. At that time there was a deer who was big and strong. With my 4 feet I leaned on one bank, with my hind feet I crouched on the other bank. I ordered the animals to cross over by walking on my back. My skin and my flesh were completely torn, but by the power of my compassion, I supported them up to my death. At the end, there was 1 hair left. My strength was exhausted, but at the price of a supreme effort, I let him cross. When he had crossed over, my back broke and I fell into the river and died. This happened a long time ago and it is not just today that I have saved someone when I was at the end of my strength. Those who at that time were the first to cross are my present disciples. The hare who crossed last is today Subhadra. Therefore it is from lifetime to lifetime that the Buddha likes to use exertion, and it is not just today that he never stops. This is why it is said that he has no loss of exertion. 9. The Buddha has no loss of mindfulness. He has no loss of mindfulness. Since he is endowed with all the